Sister, 23F. Calling my 19F boyfriend, 22M, pet names? I trust both my boyfriend and sister, although sometimes I get a bit conscious of their relationship. I introduced my boyfriend to my sister about 3 years ago and we've been dating for 2, but even before then, my sister would refer to him as babe or baby. My boyfriend never hid it, although I only found out a few months ago when I saw the notification on his phone. He said he found it weird at first but has gotten used to it as she's been doing it for years. There was a time earlier this year where my sister's friends and I were just hanging out and getting drunk, and they fell asleep cuddling each other. Girls and guys can cuddle platonically, and I encourage my boyfriend to be social since he's somewhat of an introvert, so I just left it alone. My boyfriend and I are long distance, so the only thing that irked me was the fact that he was cuddling her and not me whilst I was in the kitchen washing dishes, especially because we only see each other a few times a year. In the room was also one of our friends, 27M, who's openly had a crush on my sister for a year, and he had to remove himself from the room to join me because he was too uncomfortable. Before my boyfriend started dating me, he had an interest in my sister. My sister was aware of this and told me she purposely enjoyed leading men on as it made her feel needed. Her boyfriend, 23M, dating for 6-7 years, and her have gotten into numerous fights about this topic as she is very openly flirty. She says that it's not her fault if her guy friends pick up on this language, and start calling her pet names back. She's told me her close guy friends also call her babe, baby, and love, so I wondered if my boyfriend did the same and asked him. He said he calls her princess, which admittedly made me start sobbing because I thought I was the only person he called princess. We've talked about it and he said he will stop, but I also asked about the night where he slept with my sister, and he said he didn't remember because of the alcohol. I've asked him if I was a replacement for my sister as she's unavailable, but he said that's not the case. I'm not sure if this is jealousy or just being uncomfortable. I guess I'm just confused on how to feel as it's kind of overstepping boundaries but not really if there's no malicious intent behind it. I've asked her to stop calling him pet names a couple months ago and decided to just let it go trusting that she would, but my boyfriend says she still does it. What do I do now if everything's been addressed but I'm still hung up on it? This type of behavior is definitely weird. I would let your sister know how you feel if it's making you uncomfortable. OMG, no, this is so weird. Sister is crossing boundaries. Wow. Your sister is a massive B-word and I do not say this lightly. I'm sorry but your boyfriend and your sister do not care about you at all looking at the way they are acting. Your sister is an attention seeker and honestly a waste of oxygen. I doubt your sister has any female friends based on how she acts. And yes, you are your sister's replacement. At the very least this is an emotional affair and the worst, he is clearly acting as if he is dating her. Break up with him and in the future do not let your sister meet your future partners. Yeah, no, that wouldn't go over well with me considering their past. Tell your sister to cut it out because it's hurting you. Tell your boyfriend to tell her the same thing and to not respond to her when she calls him that. If they don't want to do that, they can have each other. The princess thing is just wah. They are disrespecting you left and right, girl. What do your parents or other siblings think about this? Yeah, I would find it weird too and be super uncomfortable with it. No boundaries here. Sounds like he's trying to date both of you to be honest, and your sister doesn't care. He's admitted to being previously interested in her. They call each other babe, baby. He calls her what you thought was your pet name. Your sister has made it clear she doesn't care about your boundaries, and they, platonically, cuddle on one of the few nights you get to see him. Dude, he likes her. Even if there isn't something going on, it's clear neither of them care about or respect your boundaries. It doesn't matter if there's malicious intent, which there probably is from at least one of them. What they're doing is hurting you and would cross a line for most people. Please respect yourself enough to walk away from people repeatedly hurting you. That's super fucking weird. Your sister sucks and your boyfriend sucks even more for cuddling with her and calling her princess. WTF. I didn't even have to read all of this to be grossed out completely. Your sister is absolutely being weird and she's older than you and should know way better. Calling him baby and babe and them cuddling would be enough for me to fall out with them both. That's genuinely so weird to me. Just found out my M28 girlfriend, F19, has been lying to me about her age. I've M28 been with a woman for around 2 years and we live together. Last night we were discussing our upcoming Gitano wedding ceremony and she confessed to me that she is only 19 years old, despite having always told me she was 24. Naturally, we had a huge argument, but agreed to talk about it the next day. She's always been a bit vague about her timeline, but I just assumed her life has been a bit uneventful and never thought too much of it. There was no indication she was lying to me, and obviously I never had reason to check her birth certificate or anything like that. We've even visited her family multiple times, who were absolutely fine with me and our relationship. I love my girlfriend with all my heart, and my family and friends adore her too. She's hardworking and beautiful and kind, but at the end of the day, and as disgusting as it sounds, she's only a kid. Honestly, I'm still in disbelief and can't even describe how bad my trust has been shattered, not to mention how stupid I feel. Really, I have no idea what to do. Any advice would be appreciated. Too long did not read. I'm 28, been with an amazing woman for around 2 years and we live together. She only just confessed she is only 19 and not 24, like she had told me. We had an argument about it and I don't know what to do. Outcome. After a lot of thinking I spoke with my girlfriend, she told her side, and then I told mine. There's been a few more lies due to having to maintain the age, but nothing significant. She answered all of my questions and everything is now clear. We discussed separation, but neither of us could fathom that idea at all and decided to stay together, going ahead with the gitano ceremony, but delaying the French civil marriage. Someone asked me to consider the health of our relationship outside of the lie. We really are extremely happy and in love, so even if this has hurt me, I am willing to move forward with her. Of course we'll have to rethink our future plans, when we are going to have children, etc., and she agrees to try counseling together. Thank you everyone for all the advice and personal experience perspectives which have helped me make what I think is the best choice. Side note. Please don't think our situation is representative of all Gitana women and the Gitano culture. I saw a few comments suggesting Romani people are known for being deceptive. I'm sure it wasn't said to intentionally harm, but let's just make sure we aren't promoting negative stereotypes. What else is she lying about? Also, she's barely not a child. She's gotta be like one exceptional person to convince you she's like a very put-together 24-year-old at 17. Also, was she in high school? How did you not know? So many questions. Honestly, this is such a massive betrayal I would never be able to look past it. She was happy for you to go to prison for being a creep, and what happens in the future when you explain that you started dating in 2019 and people realize she was just 17 when it started? This is just so messy I'd leave. Bail. You started dating when she was 17, honestly I'd break it off. She's lied and manipulated you for 2 years. Her being a gypsy makes it more understandable. Women in gypsy, traveler cultures are often forced to mature faster. Underage marriage is often considered okay too. If you aren't gypsy, they'd have no problem deceiving you either. Are you a part of the community or have you learned much about it? Do you know what you are getting into? You know what? You're going to end up staying with this person, but please consider you future children and how she'll raise your daughters. She's okay with lying and being sexually active with someone 10 years older than her at 17. Is this something you'd want to pass on your children? We have a similar culture, Chaldeans. They marry off their daughters young, 16 and over, and this is passed on from mother to daughter. A lot of the times the mum, who's barely 30, will be pregnant at the same time as her recently married daughter. Gag. How long have you lived together? How did you not celebrate her birthday? How have you not seen her driver's license? Age matters some. Honesty matters more. Update. My girlfriend made me keep my shirt on, now I hate myself. Original, here. Well, it's certainly been a time since I posted that. First of all, thank you to everyone who left nice comments, and thanks even more to the people who reached out with sweet supportive messages. It's really meant a lot. So I spoke to my now ex-girlfriend. I asked her straight up if the change in my body was affecting her and asked her to be honest with me about it because we needed to know to work through it all. Her answer was, yes and no, it's not directly the change in my body that bothered her. It's the fact that I've been going to therapy. That fucking hit me like a ton of bricks. She said the fact that I'm going to a therapist's office and sitting there and just talking about things that are wrong with me gives her the ick, to the point where she's genuinely less attracted to me. She knows I often cry in therapy and that bothers her too, apparently. She has always disliked seeing me cry. I know that's a thing for her, but obviously she doesn't see my therapy sessions, so I never for a second considered that might count. The change in my body is a very visible physical reminder that I've been getting this therapy and she just doesn't like it. I offered to stop getting the therapy, but she didn't want that either because it wouldn't be fair if I stayed sick. But she couldn't move past it, so we broke up. I moved out that night and have been staying with friends ever since. And that's it. 5 years and the person I loved more than anything else all gone because I got therapy. I feel like I've lost fucking everything. She was my best friend and my partner and my only family, and now she doesn't even talk to me. I don't think I've ever been this depressed before. My eating disorder has gone well and truly off the rails. I'm mostly not eating anything at all because any time I do I just feel sick. All I can think about is how much easier this would all be if I was just dead. I hate this, and I hate myself for not just keeping my stupid mouth shut. I knew breaking up was gonna be my worst case scenario, but I didn't expect it to hurt this much. I don't know what I'm going to do going forwards. I am so sorry that you are struggling, but you dodged a bullet here. Therapy is a positive move and she couldn't cope with it. How would she cope with actual real trauma etc. that may have happened in your life had you got married, had kids etc.? Anyone who doesn't want you to have mental support, and to better yourself, is not someone who can and will love you unconditionally when you need it most. It will take time for you to believe this, but it is good she is an ex, and you are going to be better off without her two hearts. That's fucked, but you will survive. And it's hard to imagine that a relationship with that person could have turned out well if that's their response to you getting therapy. It's weird how you can truly bond to a person that's not good for you, but it definitely happens. Stay strong. 5 years is a long time. It probably feels like forever right now. You're about the same age I was when I found out my first love was an absolute monster. Looking back, it was even more obvious, and one day, it will be for you too. Here's what you do. Call your therapist. I know that's probably the last thing you want to do after what your ex said, but she was wrong. She was just grossly wrong. So go to your therapist and explain what's happening. Then turn to your fiends, the ones who care enough to let you come stay with them at a moment's notice. And eat. Please eat. Just a little bit of something healthy. You have fought hard for your health. Do not let your ex steal that from you. Female here, her response is incomprehensible to me. If my partner had an issue and was going to therapy for it, I would be nothing but encouraging and supportive. I know you are obviously hurting right now, but keep up the therapy. You will come out of this a happier, healthier person, and you'll find an amazing woman who doesn't care about the therapy or how ripped you are. Focus on yourself and good luck with your recovery. Please never give up therapy or working on your mental health for someone else. Someone who truly cares about you as a multidimensional being, i.e. a man with actual feelings and thoughts. Like a human, will never put you in a position where you have to feel bad about taking care of your emotions. I offered to stop getting the therapy. Hell no. Bad deal. Your mental health and happiness is a priority over her being attracted to you. Those are table stakes. It's a non-negotiable. Wow, I'm so sorry. I also suffer from EDNOS. Eating disorders are really hard. The changes my body went through during recovery were hard for me. I also cried a lot. If my girlfriend at the time had made any suggestion that my body was becoming undesirable, it would have set my recovery back by a lot. But she didn't. She was happy that I was getting better and still loved my body. Your ex's attitude towards you was shallow and cruel. Please lean on your therapist during this time. They can help you with the tools you need to get through this. You will get through this. Recovery often has setbacks, and progress doesn't happen in a straight line. You haven't failed, so don't give up. Damn. Your ex isn't a good person. Sit up straight, and keep that head up. You'll get through this. I know it. Fear that my girlfriend of 7 years is having her head turned from guy from work. Hi. My girlfriend and I have been going out for 7 years since we were 18. We have only been with each other and we lost out virginity together, and I trust her completely. However, a couple of months ago she had increasing contact with someone from her work. I am not a controlling boyfriend, but noticed that they had been talking more frequently. She said that she thinks he likes her, but it hasn't come from his mouth yet. Long story short, this continues and it starts to upset me, so I confronted her about why she needs to be messaging him all the time when they see each other in work every day. Out of work because they're also friends outside of the workplace. They go as a trio with another friend who's a girl, and on the weekends when she normally sees me. I explained to her that messaging this person is hurting my feelings. Eventually, after multiple arguments, more like discussions, I told her that I don't want her messaging him because I've seen the things he has said and he clearly wants to be more than friends. She agreed and has always reassured me that if it came down to it she would always pick me. She doesn't find him attractive and tells me she isn't into him at all. Anyway, he has recently told her officially that he likes her. She only told me this information when she decided that she wanted to speak to me to have a talk. She mentioned that this person has told her that he likes her and she now feels confused and wants space. I don't know what to do. We have been together 7 years and she's only known this guy properly for 5 or 6 months. Is she delaying the inevitable, or do you think there is hope for me? I will wait for her because I am so in love with her. I don't suspect foul play, but I'd be lying if I said it isn't Seuss, especially after the multiple discussions about my feelings. What do I do? I want to give her space, but I want her to know that I'm willing to fight for her and to let her know that we are more than boyfriend and girlfriend, we are also best friends. But I can't help but think that I'm being played. It kind of sounds like it's over. It's hard to let go of a 7 years relationship, honestly. I think that's why she's still with you, but that doesn't mean staying together is the right choice. It sucks and I'm sorry. She assured you she'd always stay by your side, and now stabs you in the back like that. If she's unsure about your relationship, that ain't true love, my guy. I think it is done. She wants to try different guys. But this can expected, she is still young and you were her first. Harsh words, your relationship is over. She is young and wants to try relationships with others and sex with other men's, and her relationship with him will not last either. Hate to agree with them, buddy, but it's probably over. She doesn't find him attractive and says she'd choose you. But now needs space. No need for that if those other things are true. Truly sorry, man. I hope the best for you. She has already done the thing with new guy. She's not telling you everything. Do you really want to know the truth? Leave while you still have your dignity. No fireworks, no drama, just disappear like a fart in the wind. Leave her. You'll just be hurt and played with if you stay. Full no contact. If you let her have her cake and eat it too, she'll drag this out. She wants to test the waters without going in the deep end and keep her life raft in arm's reach. Do not allow that. Tell her simply you're sorry to hear this, but you understand. Maybe it's a good idea for you to both see what else is out there. You're calm, cool, not sarcastic or desperate when you say this. And if she decides she wants to come back and you want her back, she's going to have to quit her job and go no contact with coworker. But don't say that now. That's my advice to you if and when it happens. I know it sucks, but better now than married and you have kids. Hang in there.